Elly De La Cruz showed he is comfortable on the national stage. Andrew Abbott showed that he's the ace. And the All-Star game, well, it was won by a guy from Middletown. We're talking All-Star game on today's Locked On Reds.
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Reds podcast. My name is Jeff Carr. His name is Steve Offenbaker, and we are lifelong Cincinnati Reds fans. We've been podcasting about this team for a combined 14 seasons, and we're glad that you're alongside us here today. Locked On Reds is part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team, your Cincinnati Reds, every single day. And on today's show, we're going to break down an interesting statistic related to Noelvi Marte in his small sample size of a season that we've seen so far, and whether or not we buy it. That's coming up later on in the show. In a few minutes, we're going to tell you why we are concerned about Hunter Greene, and we believe the Reds need to address it at the trade deadline. That's in a few minutes, but we will begin today's episode by looking at the All-Star game performances of Andrew Abbott and Elly De La Cruz, and maybe that guy from Middletown, Kyle Schwarber, as well. I mean, he did get the MVP after all, because it was a unique All-Star game. We saw something we've never seen before, and that was all after the fact that Andrew Abbott had a perfect inning in the sixth inning.
Well, first of all, how great was it that the All-Star game looked like the All-Star game again? The players were back in their uniforms, representing their teams.
Yes.
Major League Baseball finally got something right. They fixed the All-Star game from the things they broke about it. The Hank Aaron tribute, by the way,
that was amazing.
the technology they used to do that thing, fantastic, so well done. And we got a couple Cincinnati Reds in this game, and to have it won by a dude from Middletown. Hey, since he's from Chicago, or played for the Cubs for a long time, and it's the National League, can we all collectively fly the W today? Is that a thing we're gonna do? I'm just curious.
Don't they ring a bell in Philadelphia? I think that's
maybe
what they do.
ring the bell.
Ring the
Everybody
bell in
does their
Philadelphia.
own little victory dance today. We'll all smoke cigars, and that'll be great. No, look, Jeff, I had such a good time watching the All-Star game last night.
Yeah.
My big first takeaway was watching Elly De La Cruz with the other superstars of the game. He absolutely 100% without question.
He belonged.
Belongs there. He is them, I guess, this is the thing you say from time to time.
He is him.
He is him, and he is them, because he clearly belongs in that upper echelon, top tier of Major League Baseball. He is right there in the thick of it with those guys, the guys you would expect to see all hanging out together, all being huddled up. Elly belongs. And then Andrew Abbott, big country. I mean, first of all, when he arrived with his parents to the game and had the jacket with the inserts of all the people that he felt like helped get him there, that was super cool. The picture that's running around today of Elly and Andrew Abbott at the Futures game together, and now at the All-Star game together. It was a good time. I want to tell you that, I tweeted this last night, Jeff, that Major League Baseball's All-Star game is second to none. Baseball does the All-Star game better than any other sport does their All-Star events. And it was really on display for the world to see last night. And even though Elly didn't get a hit in the game, I think his approach was correct. He was having a good time, and Andrew Abbott represented the city very, very well. Overall, 10 out of 10, we'll watch again. Enjoyed the All-Star game last night.
Yeah, because the home run competition that they had to really decide the game, I love that, because we were worried. He kind of forgot about this rule, not gonna lie, but I was worried seeing the game get tied in the top of the ninth inning. It's like, oh my gosh, another tie. Are you kidding me? Because everybody used up all their pitchers. It wasn't like they were going to play anymore after that. But then they came in with the home run derby there to finish it. That's the way they got to do it, because this game, Steve, I'm so glad that we've moved past the era of it means something, because it doesn't. It's fun. It's an exhibition of the stars of the game, putting them on display, and it's entertainment. And that's exactly how they approach it. That's exactly how Elly De La Cruz approached it. That's exactly how Andrew Abbott approached it, you could tell. I mean, he was just throwing strikes. He was not going to go up there and show his best stuff and try and strike people out and all this other stuff. He's just going up there and having a good time on the mound. He was on display for the nation to see, and now they know dude is legit. And so is Elly. I mean, Elly like has the demeanor for this. This is the kind of thing, and I want to see him. I'm glad he made the decision he made to stay out of the home run derby this year, but I want to see him in it next year, because I think that this moment, the national stage and the exhibition of it all, is made for a guy like him. And he is in the best shape of his life, and he will continue to be, because he's a super well put together athlete. And I don't think that the strenuous nature of the home run derby will take his toll on him. I mean, we saw it with Brent Rooker last time. I mean, he played in the home run derby, and then he comes in and he hits a home run in the home run derby after the game on the All-Star game.
I'm mixed on this. We've heard more than one time from players that have participated in the home run derby that their arms aren't right for an extended period of time. Now and to your point, when we were talking off air, you said, well, Elly's in great shape. Okay. Here's where I've landed on it, because I don't want to be Debbie Downer about the whole thing. If Elly wants to do it, and I'll be okay with that, do it next year, get it over with, and then evaluate how he is. And if he does have effects from it, then don't ever do it again. But yeah, I'm on board. Go ahead and let him do it. You're absolutely right. He's a guy I want to see. I want to see him out there doing it. And I think that he should get to go twice. He should get to do it right-handed and left-handed. So that
well, Cal Raleigh did that. He did that in the same thing. But that would be kind of funny. Like if a switch hitter gets like 2 chances, although that would make him more tired, I think. But yeah,
probably. No, I'm fine with that. I would love to see Elly showcased in that way. And so I've come around on it. I was a hard no. I don't want to be a downer about it. So yeah, let's do it. Let's get it done. Let's see how he does. Let's see how it affects him. And then we can make an informed decision moving forward if he was ever going to do it again, because there's guys, King Griffey Jr. swing was the easiest, smoothest, prettiest swing. It's probably one of the textbook baseball swings that there ever was. And he never really complained. And he did the home run derby multiple times. So
won it multiple times too.
I think that I think I'd be okay with Elly. There's lots of stuff in this game, Jeff. I love, baseball treating it like the exhibition. I think you're spot on. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't count for anything. It's a love letter to the fans from the greats of the sport, and let's keep it that way. I like that they pushed the envelope on the technology and things they were going to do. I will say, I think they finally pushed the miking.
Yeah,
I like that, but they finally pushed it too far. I do not like the pitchers and catchers mic'd up, because at the end of the day, and you saw this, these guys are competitors. And when they had the pitchers and the catchers mic'd up, the catchers were not talking because they did not want to let the hitter know what was coming. The catchers were not talking at all. There was a lot of dead air there. The pitchers were trying to concentrate on making their pitches. I'm sure whoever was on the Fox broadcast was trying to bleep all the F-bombs when hits were being given up. So let's leave the pitchers and catchers alone, but absolutely give me more of the position players mic'd up during the inning. I love that. But I think let the pitchers and catchers do their thing and not be as intrusive as that really felt to me. I felt like we were intruding on Kershaw's moment when he was out there getting his 2 outs. And yeah, he was kind of funny and he's throwing the cheese and he made it interesting. But I really felt like that Smoltz and the booth were intruding on Kershaw's moment in that period.
I think there's 2 things we can glean from that. I don't think you need to hard and fast not mic up pitchers anymore. I think you need to mic up relievers. I want to see a reliever get mic'd up and see their just mentality coming into the mound. I don't think catchers need to be mic'd up during the thing. Maybe interview them in the dugout. Like, man, what about that, that last inning from Jacob Mizorowski, or what about that last inning from, Paul Skeens or something like that? Like, that'd be a lot of fun. But I'm with you. Like, they don't want to give up anything to the hitter who's at the plate. That's fine. But I do like what they did with the miking up situation. And then also, I think the other thing to glean from that is maybe just take John Smoltz off of All-Star broadcasts. I don't really like John Smoltz anyway as a broadcaster, so whatever.
Broadcasts.
But I think that I think that the mic up thing, like, I love the bit where Aaron Boone and Dave Roberts were both mic'd up at the same time talking to each other. Like, that was kind of fun. Like,
no, that was great.
accentuate the backyard baseballness of the All-Star game, because that's what it is. Like, it was never going to be about home field advantage as much as they tried to make it about that and make it matter. And it doesn't matter as much as it used to back in the day, because baseball players' mentalities have changed. Like, this isn't just about AL versus NL. This is also like guys like getting their brand out there, making a name for themselves and things like that, and contracts on the line. I mean, everyone watching that game collectively held their breath when Eugenio Suarez got hit straight on the pinky, because they're just like, oh my gosh, is this guy
see what happens? You see what happens? Game? You see what happens when you force Major League Baseball to put somebody from the White Sox on an all-star team. That's what happens. Well, listen, Jeff, the all-star game was awesome. We had a great time. It was a fun break, but now it's time for the second half. And as we head into the second half, we're going to start with some huge concerns about Hunter Greene. We're talking about the ace coming up next.
Get the supplies that you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're working in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product information to help you get the job done right. If you need help with an order, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service. You will always talk to a real person when you call Supply House. And for the trade pros looking for that extra edge, they've got their free Trade Master program that offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage of this, and now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com.
Make sure you are subscribed so you get every single bit of Reds content we've got coming your way here in the second half. You've got Jeff and I here on the mothership Monday through Friday, the Locked On Reds podcast. You're going to get Tim Daniel after each and every Reds game with the live Reds postcast, plus whatever surprises we drop for you along the way. So make sure you're subscribed. Click that notification bell. We want to talk Reds baseball with you for the rest of the season. All right, Jeff, we're heading into the second half. It is time to get into the nuts and bolts. It's going to be a busy few weeks. The Reds find themselves 3 games. Yes, folks, I read the comments. 3 games over 500. I got a little excited there at the end of the first half and wrote a number down wrong. My bad. 3 games over 500.
Stuff the ballot box, so we do it in our favor. I mean,
that's right. So we're heading into the second half where the Reds are 3 games over 500. We think they're going to be buyers. At least we hope they're going to be buyers. Trade deadline is looming. They hit the ground running. They're going to have one of the toughest schedules in the second half, which you think is good. We talked about that on Cincy 360 on Monday. But here's a big question. They need starting pitching. They've got a starting pitcher that's just kind of sitting out there in Goodyear right now. And nobody knows what is wrong with him. And it is time, I think, to call it like it is. I am wildly, hugely concerned about Hunter Greene, and I'm worried that we're not going to get him back anytime soon.
No, I agree, because they continue to say that all tests point to the fact that nothing has changed about his injury, but he continues to report discomfort, and it's a soft tissue injury. That's obvious. And if the Reds can be vague about injury news, they will. And right now, I feel like they are intentionally being vague, because maybe there's a little bit more to it than just the groin strain that is being reported. But that doesn't make me feel any better about the situation. Like, I still see the concern here with Hunter Greene, because we're talking about a guy that I think we are moving to just a general feeling, a general label about Hunter Greene, that, man, when he's on the mound, he is an ace. He is a Cy Young candidate. We just don't know when he's going to be on the mound. And that's starting to become the narrative that is around Hunter Greene now. And I think that because of that, the Reds really need to go get one more guy. They need to go get one more starting pitcher at this deadline. And I think that they could look to the Chicago White Sox in that with Adrian Houser, because Adrian Houser has been a good starting pitcher for the White Sox all season long. I believe he's on an expiring deal. It's not going to be a multiple year contract there that they're acquiring. So they wouldn't have to give up a crazy amount to acquire him as if they were talking about Luis Robert or something like that, because I know that the White Sox are still trying to do all that. But the point being, we're concerned about Hunter Greene. Not sure when this is over. Go get one more starting pitcher.
I agree with you, but starting pitching is going to be expensive, and Adrian Hauser is going to be expensive. 2.9 WAR right now, 1.56 ERA, 9 starts this season. He's having himself a year, Jeff, and he's going to be very, very expensive. This Hunter Greene thing, it's concerning to me for a lot of reasons. And listen, I am the first person to jump up and down on the Reds medical staff. I have called them out time and time and time again. This feels different. And I want to tell you why.
Because even the other reports.
I want to tell you why this concerns me so much. In the past, we've heard players disagreeing with diagnoses. They go out and get a second opinion, a third opinion. They get the thing diagnosed. They get it fixed. The guy comes back. You look at what's going on with Hunter right now. Multiple times they've done multiple sets of imaging. He's had third and fourth opinions, and everybody is in agreement that the imaging doesn't show anything. Then we have Hunter Greene saying something's not right. Something feels wrong. I'm feeling something. And they start the process over again. Then you get Terry Francona stepping up to a microphone and saying,
this is the big part.
We have to just listen to the player. The player's going to let us know when they're ready to go. And we're going to have to trust that Hunter is going to let us know when he's ready to go. And that is big red flag alarm bells, that statement from Terry Francona, because if you read between the lines, all of the medical people and all of the diagnostics are saying there's nothing going on here. And then you've got the manager of the ball club saying, basically, dude's going to let us know when he's ready to pitch. And feels like a problem.
Yeah, that's the big part to me that really has brought home the concern. It's really solidified where I feel about Hunter Greene at this point, because, even David Bell would say things, and maybe Terry Francona learned from that. And I think that Tito's just done this his entire career. It's not as if he's watched tape on David Bell talking about injuries and said, okay, not going to say that. But in the past, David Bell probably would have told us that Hunter Greene's going to be starting next week. And then next week would come and he wouldn't pitch and be like, okay, he'll be starting next week. And then we'd just keep pushing it out. Tito's just like, I don't know. And you know what? Sometimes that's the right answer, but it's definitely not the comforting answer in this scenario.
And I will say, Jeff, you and I, we get to talk to a fair amount of people inside the building. And like any other people that report on the Reds, we're not going to out our sources, but, we heard some interesting anecdotal rumoring type things last year about how Hunter deals with injury and how he is or is not willing to push through them. And then we get to this year, and it kind of lines up with those things we heard before. Is it fair to question Hunter Greene's toughness? Is it fair to question whether or not he's willing to push through? I don't know that it's fair. I don't know that we're at that point, but when you start to hear things like are being said right now, and you start to hear rumblings, you have to wonder. And, you talk about Hunter Greene is a Cy Young when he's on the field. If I gave you a choice right now, you get to build a pitching staff, and you have to take one of Hunter Greene or Andrew Abbott to build your pitching staff around. Which one of those guys are you going to take? I think I'm taking Andrew Abbott because I know he's going to be able to pitch.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that. And I sort of broached that point yesterday when I was talking without you on a solo show. And I kind of wonder if this is just who Hunter Greene is. I don't know that I question his toughness, but I think we might be entering that area of injury proneness where, because he came into this season in the best shape of his life. Everybody said it, it was widely reported and it was easily seen in spring training. Dude looked cut. He was ready to go. It was clear he worked a lot through the offseason, and here we are again. But we're still in the same spot where it's some sort of injury that's keeping him off the mound.
I wonder also if the toughness stuff comes from a place of people not understanding and being a little, I don't know, just a little judgy based on all the hype and all the things and talk about him. I don't question Hunter Greene's toughness.
It's his right leg, right? It's his push off leg.
Yeah,
so
I don't question
right.
I don't question his toughness at all. I think he's working hard. I think he's trying to do all the things he can to get back. Maybe in the past, there's been too much of an expectation of players to play hurt, of players to push through things they shouldn't have. And we've seen what that looks like, Jeff. We know what that looks like. Yep. So for me, I think I'm willing to give Hunter the benefit of the doubt. But that being said, as long as the narrative continues to be what it is right now, we can't rely on Hunter Greene to be a piece that helps push this team into the postseason. We can't rely on Hunter Greene to be that guy that's coming off the injured list and serving just as good as a trade, right? That's what we've heard in the past. They're going to come off the injured list, and that's just as good as a trade. It's not right now because we don't know if Hunter Greene's going to come back and give you 10 starts, 2 starts, 1 start. We have no idea. The Reds need to act like Hunter Greene is not coming back this season. And that means they are going to need a starting pitcher down the stretch because Chase Burns is going to hit his innings limit.
Exactly. And that's one of the trade deadline thoughts. The other trade deadline thought kind of run around is, do the Reds need an infielder? And the answer to that is, how much do you buy Noelvi Marte? We'll tell you what we think about that coming up next. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning on a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. You just need one screen. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. I mean, on top of the ability to see all of your accounts in one place, it helps you with where the money is going, right? It's so easy to forget exactly how much money you went to Taco Bell with last week. But Monarch Money can help you out. It's helped me out. I know it'll help you out. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com and the code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year.
Can I say, were you channeling your inner Bill Shatner during that while you were doing that? Because it really sounded like you were going to order phasers to be fired.
Scotty, beam me up. All right. If you can't watch us on YouTube, you can always listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. We're on all of them out there. Check us out today. Yeah, no, I don't know what got into me in that ad read. It was a little weird posy. Have to fix that.
It was very William. It was very William Shatner. Very much William Shatner.
You don't understand the threat we face. Anyway, I tell you this.
I made you do a Star Trek reference instead of a Star Wars reference. It's great.
Oh, trust me, there's plenty in there. You know that. When it comes to the Reds and the trade deadline, there's a lot of folks that are surmising, should they go get Ryan McMahon? Should they go look at a third baseman somewhere else? A Eugenio Suarez, perhaps? We'll have to see how that finger feels after the All-Star break. But I think that the answer is not should they go get them. The answer is, does Noelvi Marte necessitate that the Reds go get somebody? Because I believe that what we've seen in 28 games has been pretty impressive. I mean, dude's slash line is 284, and he's got the on-base percentage of 337 and 547 slugging as well. You'll love to see that. But again, a little bit of a smaller sample size than some of the other guys coming into the All-Star break. And there's one key number when it comes to Noelvi Marte that we have to ask, do we buy or sell it? And that's the fact that he has a strikeout rate right now of 16%. League average is 22%. Team average for the Reds is 23%. Noelvi Marte is better than most Reds at limiting the strikeouts. Is that going to continue?
You ask about 15 different questions in there, and I'm going to try my best to navigate my way through it. First off, no, I'm not buying the 16% strikeout over the course of an entire season. We're talking about 28 games right now. I love him and his 36% above league average right now. His OPS plus is 136 right now. I love what he's doing. I think he's going to be very, very good. You started this off with the question of, do the Reds need to go get an infielder? Well, the Reds need an outfielder, an infielder, a bullpen, a starter. They need all the things. But what you have to do is prioritize, because they're not going to go get all the things. I think at the end of the day, the Reds go get a bullpen arm and maybe a bat for the outfield. I don't think they'll pull the trigger on what it would cost to get a starter, and I don't think they're going to bring in any more infielders. I think they're going to play Noelvi Marte the rest of the way. If he stays healthy and he's out there, it's crunch time, Noelvi. He's had his setbacks. He's made his mistakes. He served his sentence. He's did his time. He's fought his way back. And like we talked about when we did Cincy 360 with Austin Elmore last Monday, Jeff, Austin said it, I said it, Noelvi just needs to play. So you let him go, you let him play. And
no more of this taking him out for Espinal halfway through the game for
Noelvi is what he is the rest of the way. You let him play. He is your third baseman down the stretch, and let's see what he does with that, because you can't go out and trade for everyone in every position. The Reds just aren't that kind of team. So I think of the needs this team has, infield is not very high on the list. I much prefer they address the bullpen and the outfield. And then after that, if they still want to make a move, something in the starting rotation. Infield's way down on that list. So I believe Noelvi has, here's how I'll answer it. I buy Noelvi that he has earned the right for the opportunity to show us more. He has earned the right to play the rest of the way. He has earned the right to show us if he is the third baseman of the future or not. And his audition should start right now, beginning the second half of this season. And let's see what he does.
I do think that the strikeout rate is very interesting when you look at how he has been able to perform, because the number that we look at a lot for whether a player is getting lucky or unlucky is batting average on balls in play, BABIP. And his BABIP is actually slightly below league average, despite the fact that he is producing really well. And I think the reason that he's producing really well, despite the luck not really being on his side, is because the strikeout rate is so low. He's not swinging and missing a lot. And when you look at kind of the peripheral stuff, like I love to look at on Baseball Savant, he is still chasing a decent amount. So he is being able to make contact has been a big part of his game so far. He's been able to hit some bad pitches and making sure that he's not missing pitches while in the zone, but he's still chasing some pitches outside the zone. So I'll be interested to see how that develops the rest of the way. But again, he's been a sample size king. I mean, small sample size in 2023, he did really well. And in the small sample size so far here in 2025, he's done really well. And then you got that big bit there that was 2024 that was not so well. So I think that what we have seen so far, he is somewhere between what he's done right now and what he did in 2024. But I still think that I buy that as the everyday third baseman of this team. And for that means that they don't need to go get and spend the resources it would take to get a Eugenio Suarez or a Ryan McMahon or somebody like that, because they can focus on maybe upgrading the bench if they really want to on the infield. God help us if we're seeing Santiago Espinal get meaningful playing time during a playoff race. And if you can upgrade on that, great. But like you said, that's far down the list for me. And I buy Noelvi Marte as this team's third baseman.
Yeah, I think that's where we both land. We both land on buy for now. We can always sell later.
Probably
the
offseason. I don't think at this point there's a lot of runway here for us to be like, no, they absolutely need to replace him by July 31st.
No, and you talk about that 2024. Let's remember all the things that were going on there. That's not really accurate. I mean, it was a larger sample size, 66 games, but there was so much happening there. He was coming off of the trouble he got into. He had no real spring training per se, and they just threw him to the wolves. And he played accordingly, as far as I'm concerned. Let him play. I'm in on it, Jeff. I think he's the third baseman the rest of the way, and that's just. See what he does with it.
I agree. And that is where we will end today's podcast. Thank you so much for checking out today's Locked On Reds podcast. Coming up on the next episode of Locked On Reds, we are going to be discussing some hard and fast options for the Reds to really go after in this trade deadline, because we are in it. I mean, I just saw that the Pirates made a trade with the Royals. Adam Frazier is headed to Kansas City. The Reds need to get on this trade. I'm just kidding. That's not that big of a deal. But hey, teams are making moves again, and it's time for the Reds to get in on that. We'll tell you some moves they can make on the next Locked On Reds podcast. Until then, make sure that you are subscribed. That way you get everything we've got coming for you. Great everyday content, working on a couple of interviews. One of them could be pretty interesting if we can nail it down. And then make sure you check out Locked On MLB. They got you covered every day with Sully's point of view on the league, and Locked On MLB Game Night. They watch every game every night so that you don't have to. But you always know that when it comes to Steve and myself, we will be Locked On Reds every single day.
Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life. See, I just yoded Spock.